Hey, it's Sol with another video. I'm just going to get right to it and tell you all the stuff that you probably need to know about the upcoming 8.1 Tides of Vengeance patch. Let's go. Tides of Vengeance are going to introduce Incursions, which are pretty similar to Legion invasions, but kind of not, because unlike before where the entire zone would shut down, Incursions are only going to take certain parts of zones and basically create world quests in that specific area. You're going to be asked to do 4 of the available pool of worlds or special world quests in that area, and then it tops off with one special quest at the end, although there is no queuing up that you need to do this time. Right, Incursions are also for low-level players, so knock yourself out. A new Warfront is going to be available, and this takes place on Darkshore. In order to unlock it, there's this short, well, kind of short prerequisite quest line that you'll be doing for the Horde or the Alliance. Go to the boat, or where your mission table is, and you can get started there. A pet battle dungeon is going to be available in Gnomeregan. All you need to do is have completed, or at least you probably need to have completed the previous pet battle dungeons, and then from there, as a Horde player, you need to talk to Radek Fuselock in Dazar'alor, or you need to talk to Azerite Gear Vendor in Borealis. Commendation vendors will be available, and they'll give you things like tattered capes or nice looking capes, pets, and mounts. In order to get these commendations, presumably you'll need to complete Warfronts and maybe even Incursions or perhaps world quests over on the opposite faction's continent, not entirely sure. Island expeditions are going to be somewhat updated, adding a couple of new locations as well as new events and other little things to distract you from that bar that you're trying to fill up. Also, those doubloons that you've been massing up can now be spent on new stuff with a new vendor. More toys, more mounts, more cosmetics, and even reputation will be available from this vendor. Azerite Gear and the system around it is going to receive numerous updates, including an additional ring on the Azerite Gear. However, this only applies to gear that you acquire after the patch drops. So as a quick tip, if there happens to be an emissary armor quest before the patch, you might want to hold on to it. You might get something cool when that patch drops and you turn that emissary in. There's also going to be a new vendor for this Azerite gear, and you need to acquire a new currency once again called Azerite Impurity. This is acquired from scrapping or disenchanting Azerite gear that you get after the patch, or every week from your Mythic Challengers chest, depending on the highest key that you've completed, up to 10. A new auction house is going to be added to the capitals in Zandalar and Kultiris, although you need to be an engineer to so much as even see it. If you're an engineer though, go over to your capital's scrapper and it'll be hanging out right there. Slowly but surely, heritage armor is going to be added to not just the allied races, but the existing races, starting with the Dwarves and the Blood Elves. You'll need to have a max level character of that race and be exalted with that race's city. From there, go over to your faction's embassy in Orgrimmar or in Stormwind to get started. There's going to be a raid, obviously, called the Battle of Dazar'alor. It's a 9-boss raid that's going to be very faction-focused. It's not going to come out right at launch because there's also going to be a new war campaign that's going to lead up to the Battle of Dazar'alor raid. Chances are pretty good that each stage of the war campaign is going to be spaced out by a number of weeks because that's what Blizzard typically does these days. Transmog runners can rejoice because now you can queue up for the raid finder difficulty of Legion raids. All you have to do is talk to Archmage Timar, I don't know how to pronounce his name, the guy that does the weekly turn-ins for the weekly events back in Legion. There are a lot of new profession recipes, including item level 340 gear for you armor and weapon crafters. This is going to be a pretty big moneymaker and a great catch-up mechanism for all of you that have been leveling up with Incursions. One other special profession thing to note, engineers will be able to make an item that will let them do in-combat resurrections. Yes, that is right. Battle resurrections have lost all semblance of sacredness. Oh, I mentioned alts earlier. By the way, completing the war campaign is going to be a little bit faster for you. Whereas before, the BFA war campaign was pretty much gated by rep, completing each leg of this war campaign is going to give you a very significant bump in reputation that should propel you to just go through the entire war campaign in one go. For you world quest addicts, Paragon reputation is also going to be added in this patch. Once you hit exalted with a certain reputation, every 10,000 additional rep that you get is going to get you a goodie bag full of probable disappointment. On the back end, there's going to be new tech that lets your higher end computer take advantage of what the World of Warcraft has to offer. so you can expect a reasonable bump in your frames per second. And that's all I've got. If there's anything that you think is missing that should be mentioned, mention it in a comment below to help all of us out. Like this video to get the word around, and subscribe to the channel to help support me and so I can keep giving you more of this and all things Warcraft. I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.